The moon was dead, cold, silent. It hung in the black like a frozen tear, orbiting a small red star far from Earth. Its name was Viral 7. No one lived there. No one ever had. It was just ice and rock, ignored for centuries. But beneath the ice, something waited. Jay stood on the surface in his thick white suit, boots crunching on frozen dust. He was young, with tired eyes and messy black hair that stuck out under his helmet. He wasn't a hero, just a scientist trying to do his job. He looked at the scanner in his hand. The screen showed strange lines under the ice, lines that didn't belong. "Hannah," he said over the radio, "you need to see this." Hannah came walking across the snowfield, her suit glowing faintly blue in the dim red light of the distant star. She was short but strong, with sharp eyes and a calm voice. She was the team's engineer, the one who kept the machines alive when everything else broke. "What is it?" she asked, breathing hard. Jay handed her the scanner. "Look, 3 kilometers down. There's something big. Not rock, not ice. It's shaped, like walls, like rooms." Hannah frowned. She tapped the screen. "That can't be right. This moon has never had life. No atmosphere, no heat. Nothing could build here. But it's there," Jay said, "and it's giving off a signal. Very weak, like a heartbeat." They called the others. Soon, the whole team was gathered in the small base camp, a cluster of domes half buried in snow. Maps and data filled the screens. Everyone talked at once. Some said it was a natural formation. Some said it was a trick of the sensors. But Jay and Hannah knew better. They had seen strange things before, lost ruins, old tech, but never anything this deep, this old. They decided to drill. It took days. The machine cut slowly through the ice, fighting the cold and pressure. When it finally stopped, they sent down a small robot with lights and cameras. The feed came through shaky at first. Then the image cleared. Everyone in the room went quiet. Below was a city, or what was left of one. Tall, thin towers rose from the ground, made of a smooth, glass-like stone. The buildings were cracked and broken, but still standing. Paths wound between them, covered in dust. And in the center, a large flat building with a door, sealed but whole. "It's real," Hannah whispered. "Someone lived here. A long, long time ago." Jay leaned forward. "No, not lived. Built. This wasn't a home. It was a tomb. Or a vault." They lowered a team in suits with tools and lights. The air inside was cold but breathable. Strange, since there was no atmosphere outside. The walls were covered in carvings. Lines, circles, strange symbols that no one could read. In the main chamber, they found a tall stone pillar in the middle of the room. It was black, smooth, and cold to the touch. Jay reached out and touched it. The moment his hand made contact, the room lit up. Lights turned on along the walls. The ceiling glowed with soft blue light. And from the pillar, a figure appeared, a man, but not a man. Tall, thin, with silver skin and deep black eyes. He wore no clothes, but flowing light wrapped around him like a robe. He spoke, but not in any language they knew. Yet, somehow they understood. "We were the Ancient Ones," the figure said. His voice was calm, deep like wind through stone. "We came when the stars were young. We planted life in the dark. We taught the first minds to dream. We built balance." He paused. His eyes looked through them, into the past. But we saw the shadow, the thing that waits, the thing that grows in silence. We fought it. We won. But victory had a price. We sealed the doors. We slept. We waited. Then his voice changed. It became urgent. "If you hear this, the seal is broken. The gate is open. Do not wake them. Do not call us. The time of mercy is gone. The time of fire is near." The image flickered. The figure raised a hand, as if warning them. "We were the gardeners. Now we must be the storm." Then the light died. The figure vanished. The room went dark. For a long time, no one moved. Hannah was the first to speak. What was that?" Jay stepped back from the pillar. His hand was shaking. "I think that was a message. From the ones who came before everyone. The first ones. But what did he mean? Someone asked. Wake who? What gate? Jay looked at the pillar. I think we just did it. By touching this, we sent a signal. Hannah's face went pale. A signal where? I don't know, but I think someone just heard it. That night, the ground shook. Not a big shake, just a tremor. But it came from deep below, too deep for natural causes. The sensors picked up strange energy pulses coming from the city. The pillar was warm now, even though nothing was touching it. And in the sky, far away, a star blinked once, then returned to normal. No one slept. The next morning, Hannah found something else. Behind the pillar, hidden in the wall, was a small metal box. It opened when she placed her hand on it. Inside was a flat disk, clear like glass, with tiny lines inside. It's a data core, she said, like a memory drive, but older than anything we've ever seen. They took it back to the base. It took hours to connect it to their computer. When it finally worked, files began to appear, images, maps, star charts. And one video. It showed the same tall being but in a different place. A vast room with windows looking out at stars. He was speaking fast, urgently. Final log, he said. The silence is stirring. The seals weaken. We have no choice. We activate the sleep. All vaults will close. If any find this, do not follow. Do not seek us. The cost of waking us is the end of all life. We were the ancient ones. We protected. Now we must destroy. Forgive us. The video ended. Jay sat back. They weren't just ancient. They were guardians. And they left because something bad was coming. Hannah nodded. And we just told them it's here. They tried to shut down the system. They disconnected the core. They even covered the pillar with lead sheets. But it didn't matter. The signal had already been sent. 3 days later, the first ship disappeared. It was a CSS Tegu, a small scout vessel passing near the edge of the solar system. One moment it was there, sending routine reports. The next, silence. No explosion. No debris. Just gone. Then another ship vanished. Then a space station. Then a moon base. Every time, the last word from the crew was the same. The stars, they're blinking. Jay stood outside the base, looking up at the dark sky. The red star above Viral. 7 was dim now, as if covered by a shadow. Hannah joined him. We should have left, she said. We should have left the moment we saw that pillar. Jay didn't answer. He was thinking about the message, about the being who called himself one of the ancient ones, about the warning, do not wake them. But it was too late. Far away, in the cold spaces between galaxies, something stirred, something old, something hungry. And deep in the ice, the black pillar pulsed once, like a heart waking after a long, long sleep. The galaxy didn't know it yet, but it would tremble. The sky was dark, but not quiet. Lights blinked where they should not. Stars flickered like old bulbs. Ships vanished without sound. No alarms. No fire. No wreckage. Just gone. The United Stellar Coalition did not know what was happening. They sent more ships, more people, more questions, and then Commander Tay arrived. He came on the CSS Hanso, a heavy warship built for war, not science. He was tall, with a hard face and tired eyes. His hair was short, gray at the sides. He had fought in the Mars rebellions and the War of the Belt. He did not believe in ghosts, but he believed in danger. When he stepped onto Viral 7, he looked at Jay and Hannah and said only one thing. Tell me everything. They took him to the city under the ice. They showed him the pillar. They played the message from the Ancient One. They told him about the data core, the warning, the signal. Tay listened without speaking. When it ended, he placed his hand on the black pillar. It was warm. So, he said, we woke something up. Hannah nodded. Not just them. Something else. The thing they were afraid of. Tay turned to his team. Seal this place. No one enters. No one touches anything. I want armed guards on every level. And I want all data sent to Earth Command. Now. But even as he spoke, more ships went silent. A relay station near Neptune stopped sending. A mining colony on Titan lost power. Then, for 10 seconds, the whole planet Jupiter dimmed, like a light being turned down. Scientists said it was impossible. But it happened. People began to panic. On Earth, cities lit up with fear. News channels ran the same words over and over. Unknown threat. No contact. No cause. Children cried. Leaders met in secret. Soldiers stood ready. But no one knew what to fight. Back on Viral 7, Hannah worked with June, a quiet man who knew stars better than people. He had once mapped black holes for the science fleet. Now he sat in the base, eyes on his screen, watching strange waves in space. It's not random, June said. The flickering stars. The missing ships. It's moving, like a wave. Slow, but growing. Hannah leaned over his shoulder. Where's it going? June pointed at a map of the galaxy. A red line moved outward from their position, past Viral 7, past the outer PL, toward the inner systems. It's heading for Earth, he said. Tay heard the news and called a meeting. We need to leave, said one scientist. This place is cursed. We open a door we should not have. We can't leave, Tay said. If this thing reaches Earth, millions will die. We stay. We learn. We find a way to stop it. But how? Asked Jay. We don't even know what it is. Tay looked at him. Then we make it know us. They worked day and night. The data core held more secrets. With June's help, they broke the code. Files opened. Videos played. Pictures of stars, planets, doors in space. One image showed a circle of black stones floating in deep space. Text below said, "Seal the first wall." Another showed a planet cracked in half, frozen in time. Label what the silence touched. Then they found a file labeled hunger. It was not a creature, not a machine. It was a force, older than stars, born in the dark before light. It did not eat flesh or metal. It ate order. It turned life into silence. It made time slow. It killed not with violence, but with stillness. The ancient ones had fought it long ago. They won by sealing it in pockets of space. Places with no time, no light, no way out. They called these places vaults. And they slept near them to watch, to wait. But now, the signal from the pillar had woken more than just the ancient ones. It had shaken the locks. One by one, the vaults were opening. We didn't just call them back, Hannah said, her voice low. We broke the seals. Tay stared at the screen. So this thing, the hunger, it's free? June nodded. Not all of it, just pieces. But pieces grow. Like fire, like rust. It spreads by being near, by being seen. And it's coming here? Tay asked. Yes, June said. And when it arrives, this moon will die. Then the next system. Then the next. Tay made his decision. All non-military staff will leave on the next shuttle. Scientists, engineers, medics, get off this rock. We can't risk more lives. Jay stepped forward. I'm not leaving. This started with me. I touched the pillar. I have to fix it. Hannah crossed her arms. And I'm not leaving him. Tay looked at them. He didn't smile, but his eyes softened. Then stay. But you follow my orders. No more risks. No more touching strange things. They agreed. The next day, the first real sign arrived. A ship appeared. It was not human, not any design they knew. Black, thin, shaped like a falling leaf. It moved without sound. It came from the edge of the solar system and stopped near Viral 7. No message, no signal. It just hung there. Tay ordered weapons ready, but he did not fire. On the third day, the ship opened. A beam of dark light shot down to the ice. It hit the ground near the city. Where it touched, the ice turned black, then cracked, then fell away. From below, something rose. It was not a machine, not a being. It looked like a tower of black glass, tall and thin, covered in moving lines. It pulsed like a heart. And as it rose, the air grew cold. Lights failed. Machines slowed. Hannah watched from the base. It's not building that. It's growing it. June checked the sensors. Energy levels are off the scale. But it's not heat, not radiation. It's emptiness, like a hole in the world. Tay knew what it meant. This is not the hunger, he said. This is a key, a tool. It's opening the vault here. Jay felt sick. There's a vault under this moon? Yes, June said, and it's waking up. That night, the ground shook again, harder this time. Cracks spread across the ice. The base lost power for 10 minutes. When it came back, the camera feeds from the city were gone. All black. Tay sent a team in armored suits. They never came back. The last message was a scream, then silence. Then, from the crack in the ice, a new light rose. Not bright, not warm. A deep purple glow that made the eyes hurt. And in the sky, the distant ship turned and left. It was gone, but the tower stayed. And beneath it, something breathed. Jay stood at the edge of the base, looking at the purple light in the distance. Hannah joined him. We should have listened, she said. Jay shook his head. We didn't know. But now we do, she said. And we still can't stop it. Jay didn't answer. He thought of Earth, of cities, of children playing in parks, of music, laughter, love, all of it at risk. We have to try, he said. But even as he spoke, the stars above blinked again, one by one, like something counting them, waiting its turn. And far away, deeper in space, another black ship arrived. Then another, and another. The galaxy held its breath. The storm was coming, and no one was ready. The sky was wrong. Stars did not just blink. They flickered like lights on a dying machine. Some went out and never came back. Others pulsed in slow rhythm, as if breathing. On Earth, people stood outside at night and stared up, not in wonder, but in fear. The moon looked dull. The sun felt colder. Something was moving through space. Not fast, not loud, but sure. It came from the edge of the solar system, near where Viral 7 hung in silence. The black tower there still glowed with that deep purple light. No one went near it. No ship dared to land. The last team had vanished, and their final words played in the minds of those who heard. It's not empty down here. It's watching. Jay sat in the base on Viral 7, eyes on the screen. He had not slept in days. The data core kept giving up secrets, like a dying man whispering his last truth. With June's help, they found more files. Maps, warnings, a list of places, vaults. Hidden across the galaxy, there were 7 doors, 7 prisons. And now, one by one, they were opening. The hunger was never one thing, June said, voice low. It was split, cut into pieces. Hidden. The ancient ones did not destroy it. They contained it, like poison in a box. Hannah stood by the window, looking at the distant glow. And we just opened the first box. Yes, June said, and it's waking the others. They found a file that showed what happened when a vault opened. It was not fire, not war. It was silence. A planet, green and full of life, turned gray. Trees froze in place. Rivers stopped. Animals stood still, not dead, but empty. No sound, no movement, as if time forgot them. And in the sky, a black ship appeared. Not the same kind they saw before. This one was larger, sleek, shaped like a falling star. It did not attack. It did not land. It just watched. Then it fired a beam of dark light, not at the planet, but at the sky. And the stars above went out. One by one, June whispered, that's how it works. The hunger grows. Then the ancient ones come, to burn what's left. Jay felt cold. So they're not coming to save us. They're coming to kill everything, to stop the silence from spreading. Hannah turned from the window. Then we have to close the vault. Here, before it opens fully. Tay walked in. His face was hard, but his eyes showed worry. That's suicide. We don't even know how it opened. How can we close it? We have the data, Hannah said. We have the core, and we have the pillar. Maybe the pillar can send another signal, a stop signal. Jay looked at her. But what if it makes it worse? What if doing nothing kills us all? She shot back. Tay thought for a long time. Then he nodded. One team. One try. If it fails, we leave. We warn Earth, and we run. They prepared in silence. Hannah and Jay would go. June would stay and guide them from the base. Tay would wait with soldiers, ready to pull them out. The trip to the city under the ice was slow. The air felt heavier now. Lights on their suits flickered. The ground cracked beneath their feet. When they reached the central chamber, the black pillar was warm. The carvings on the walls seemed to move in the dim light. Hannah placed the data core into a slot at the base of the pillar. It fit perfectly. Now what? Jay asked. Now we talk to them, she said. She pressed her hand to the pillar. Jay did the same. The room lit up. The tall figure appeared again, the Ancient One. But this time he looked tired, sad. You return, he said. You do not listen. Hannah spoke fast. We know what we did. We are sorry. We want to help. How do we close the vault? How do we stop the silence? The figure shook his head. Too late. The chain is broken. The first door is open. The hunger breathes. It calls to the others. Balance is lost. But can't we fix it? Jay asked, can't we seal it again? No. The seal needs a life, a mind, a soul to stand in the gap, to become the lock. It is not a machine. It is a sacrifice. Hannah's breath caught. So someone has to stay? Down there? To close it? Yes, the figure said. One must enter the vault. One must become the door. Silence. Jay looked at Hannah. She looked back. They both knew what this meant. Then the ground shook. Hard. Cracks split the floor. Dust fell from the ceiling. The pillar flickered. The image of the Ancient One broke into noise. June's voice came over the radio. Get out. The tower is growing. The vault is opening wider. They ran. But halfway to the exit, the path collapsed. A hole opened in the ground, wide and deep. From below, a cold wind blew. Purple light rose like smoke. And a sound, low, slow, like a heartbeat from the deep earth. Hannah stopped. Jay, go. What? No. I have to do this, she said. If someone has to become the door, it has to be me. No. Jay grabbed her arm. There has to be another way. There isn't, she shouted. If I don't do this, Earth dies, everyone dies. My parents, your sister, the kids and Sol, the ones on Mars, they all turn into statues, into silence. Tears ran down her face. I won't let that happen. Before Jay could stop her, she turned and ran not away, but toward the hole. Hannah, he screamed. She jumped. She fell into the purple light. Then silence. The hole closed. The shaking stopped. The pillar went dark. Jay fell to his knees. June's voice came again. Hannah? Hannah, do you read? Jay, what happened? Jay could not speak. Then from the base, an alarm sounded. June's voice turned to shock. Jay, look at the sky. Jay looked up through the broken ceiling. The stars were still blinking. But now, in the distance, new lights appeared. Not one, not two, dozens. Black ships, sleek, silent, moving fast. They came from all directions, like hawks to a dying fire. They're here, June whispered. The Ancient Ones. Jay stood up. His face was wet. His heart hurt. But he looked at the pillar one last time. They wanted to be the storm, he said. But she was the light. Outside, the first ship landed. No sound, no fire, just stillness. And the galaxy held its breath. The end was coming. And no one knew if it would bring peace, or only more dark. The black ships landed one by one. They came from the dark between stars. Silent, smooth, no engines roaring, no lights flashing. They just appeared, like shadows growing long at dusk. First one, then 5, then 20. They settled on the ice around the ruined city, their shapes sharp against the red sky. No doors opened, no being stepped out. But the air changed. It grew heavier, colder. Even inside the base, the lights dimmed. Machines slowed. Time itself felt like it was dragging its feet. Jay stood at the window, still in his suit, his face pale. He had not spoken since Hannah jumped. He watched the ships, waiting. For what? He did not know. Attack? Answers? Death? Tay stood beside him, hand on his weapon. His jaw was tight. He had seen war. He knew when danger was near. They're not here to talk, Tay said. June sat at the control panel, eyes on the screen. All signals from Earth are weak. Some are gone. The same with Mars, Titan, even the outer stations. It's like the galaxy is going quiet. Jay finally spoke. His voice was rough. She stopped the vault here. But the others are still opening. The hunger is still out there. Tay nodded. And now the Ancient Ones are here to clean up the mess. But their way isn't a fix. It's to burn. A sudden flash lit the sky. One of the black ships fired a beam of dark light. Not at the base, not at the city, but straight up into space. The beam cut through the clouds and vanished into the stars. Then, far away, a star blinked, then went out. June gasped. They're not just watching. They're acting. That beam, it was a signal. Or a weapon. I think they just killed a star. Jay turned to him. What? You can't kill a star. I don't think they killed it, June said, typing fast. I think they sealed it. Like a tomb. No light, no heat, no life. Just empty. Silence fell in the room. They understood now. The Ancient Ones were not coming to save anyone. They were coming to end everything. To stop the hunger from spreading, they would destroy every world that had been touched, every planet with life, every moon with breath, every ship with a living soul. Because if even one seed of life remained near the silence, it could be used, twisted, turned into more dark. So they would burn it all. Jay looked at the data core still in the machine. There has to be another way. Hannah gave her life to close one vault. Maybe we can use that. Maybe we can show them we're trying. That we're not just victims. That we're fighters. Tay shook his head. They don't care. To them, we're just part of the problem. Like weeds in a garden. You don't talk to weeds. You pull them out. But we're not weeds. Jay shouted. We built cities. We wrote songs. We reached for the stars. We're not just life, we're meaning. No one answered, because they didn't know if it mattered. That night, the first ship moved. It rose from the ice, silent as smoke. It floated toward the base. Slow, calm, like a predator that knows the prey cannot run. Tay gave the order. Seal the doors. Power down non-essentials. Weapons ready. But do not fire unless I say. They waited. The ship stopped 10 meters from the main door. Then, a beam of light shot down, not dark this time, but white and soft. It touched the ground and formed a shape. A man, but not a man. He stood tall, with silver skin and deep black eyes. He wore no suit, but walked on the ice like it was warm ground. He carried no weapon. He did not speak. He just looked at the base. Jay recognized him. It was the same being from the pillar. The Ancient One. He's real, June whispered. The figure raised one hand. A message appeared in the air, words and no language, yet they understood. You broke the seal. You woke the silence. You let it breathe. Now the garden must burn. Jay ran to the radio. We stopped one vault. One of us gave her life to close it. We're not your enemy. We want to help. The figure did not move. Another message came. Intent does not stop death. One life cannot balance 1,000 worlds. The law is clear. All must end. Then he turned and walked back into the light. The beam rose. The ship turned and flew away. But the next morning, more ships arrived, and they began to work. One by one, they sent beams into space. Each time, a star blinked, then died. Planets and distant systems went dark. Sensors showed no heat, no movement, no signals. Life was being erased. Back on Earth, the sky changed. The stars vanished one by one. People cried. Leaders begged. Ships tried to run. But there was nowhere to go. The Ancient Ones were everywhere. Tay knew they had to act. We can't fight them, he said. But we can warn. We can send the truth. Not just to Earth. To everyone. Let the galaxy know what happened. Let them know about Hannah. Let them know we tried. June nodded. We can use the deep space array. Sent a burst on all channels. Audio, video, data, everything. And what about the data core? Jay asked. It has their history, their warning, their regret. If someone finds it one day, maybe they'll do better. Yes, June said. We send it all. They worked fast. Jay recorded a message. He stood in front of the camera, his face tired, his voice weak but strong. This is Jay, he said. I was there when it started. We found the pillar. We woke the signal. We didn't know, but we learned. And one of us, Hannah, gave her life to stop the dark. The Ancient Ones are here now. They're going to destroy everything. Not because they hate us, but because they fear what comes after. They think fire is the only way to stop the cold. He paused, took a breath. But we were not just life. We were love. We were music. We were hope. And if even one piece of that survives, then maybe one day the galaxy can try again. He stopped the recording. June sent the signal. A burst of light shot from the array, flying into space at the speed of light. It carried voices, songs, pictures of Earth, of cities, of children laughing. It carried Hannah's name. It carried the truth. Then they waited. The next day, the skies filled with ships. Not just near Viral 7. Everywhere. Around Earth. Mars. The outer colonies. The Ancient Ones were moving fast. Tay looked at Jay. It's over. Jay shook his head. No, it's not. We sent the light. Now it's flying. And light is slow, but it never stops. That night, the first beam hit Mars. No explosion. No sound. The red planet simply faded, like a photo left in the sun. One by one, the lights went out. And in the deep dark, only silence remained. But far away, beyond the edge of the known stars, the signal flew. Small, weak, but alive, and it carried a single truth. We were here. We mattered. And we did not go quietly. The end came quietly. No loud bangs. No fire in the sky. Just a slow dimming, like a room losing light at sunset. One by one, the stars went out. Planets cooled. Ships stopped moving. Life, wherever it was, simply ended. Not with pain, not with war, but with silence. The Ancient Ones did their work. They were not cruel. They were not kind. They were like gardeners who see a sick tree and cut it down so the forest does not die. They looked at the galaxy and saw infection. The hunger had touched too many places. The risk was too high, so they burned it all. Earth was last. For a few more hours, it still turned. People walked outside, looked up, and knew. No one ran. No one screamed. They held each other, played music, said names out loud, as if to prove they had lived. Then a soft light came from space. A beam, thin and silver, touched the moon. It did not burn. It did not explode. The moon simply faded, like mist in morning sun. Then the beam moved to Earth, and the world went quiet. No sound, no wind, no breath, just stillness. On Viral 7, Jay sat in the dark. The base had lost power. The screens were black. Tay was gone, taken by a beam of light that did not hurt, but just unmade him where he stood. June had tried to run, but the door sealed itself. He sat down, closed his eyes, and whispered, "Tell my mother I tried." Now Jay was alone. He did not move. He did not cry. He just looked at the photo on his suit screen. Hannah, smiling, her hair blowing in the wind back on Earth. They had taken on a hill outside Seoul. She was laughing. The sun was bright. That world was gone. But he still had her name. He still had the truth. And he still had the signal. He knew it was flying, far out, past the dead stars, into the dark between galaxies. It carried voices, songs, laughter. It carried Hannah's sacrifice. It carried the fact that they had tried. That was enough. The door to the base opened, not with a sound, but with light. The Ancient One stood there. The same one, silver skin, black eyes, calm face. He did not speak. He looked at Jay. Jay looked back. Then, slowly, he held up the data core. "I know you will destroy it," Jay said, "but it has the truth about you, about us, about what you are doing. If someone finds it one day, maybe they will understand. The Ancient One did not move. Then he raised his hand. The core did not break. It did not burn. It simply floated. And then it was gone. Jay knew it had been saved. Hidden. Sent away. The Ancient One stepped closer. You are the last, his voice said inside Jay's mind. The final light in a dead garden. Jay stood up. We were not just light. We were life. We loved. We dreamed. We reached for stars. That is not nothing. The being watched him. You fought. You lost. But you did not fear. Jay nodded. We were small, but we were real. The Ancient One reached out. Not to hurt. Not to erase. But to touch. His hand rested on Jay's head, like a blessing. Then the light came. Soft. Quiet. And Jay was gone. The galaxy was empty. No stars blinked. No ships flew. No voices spoke. The Ancient Ones left as they came, without noise, without show. Their ships rose into the black and vanished, returning to the deep dark, to sleep again, to wait. The hunger was sealed once more. The balance was kept, but not all was lost. Far, far away, beyond the edge of the old galaxy, in a young cluster of stars just beginning to burn, something moved. A small object, no bigger than a rock, drifted through space. It was covered in ice. It had no power, no light, but inside, a tiny machine still worked. It was the probe, the one Hannah and June had sent in the last hours. It carried the signal. It had flown for hundreds of years, through dark, through cold, through silence. And now, it entered a new solar system. A young star burned bright. Planets circled it. One was blue. One had air. One had water. And life. Simple at first. Tiny things in the sea, but growing. One day, a young race would look up. They would see the stars. They would wonder. They would reach. And when they did, the probe would be found, buried in ice on a moon, or caught in a net, or pulled from the sea. And when it woke, it would play. First, a voice. Jay's voice. This is Jay. I was there when it started. We made a mistake. We woke something old. We fought. We lost. But we did not give up. Then music. A song from Earth. Laughter of children. Pictures of green hills, blue oceans, cities full of light. And a final message. We were not the Ancient Ones. We were the brief flame in the long dark. We loved. We built. We dreamed. And if you hear this, know that you are not the first. And you must not be the last. On that distant world, a child would hear it. A scientist would study it. A leader would weep. And somewhere in the heart of a new civilization, a fire would start. Not of war, not of fear, but of hope. Because the galaxy had trembled once, not from fear, but from the courage of the small. And now it would tremble again, this time with life. And the long dark will remember what it meant to shine.